What's up you guys, Hudson here, and today I have a slightly different video for you. Today we're doing a response video to the Ask Me a Questions I did on my Instagram story this week. I do them pretty much weekly, so if you want any feedback from me on anything fitness related, be sure to follow me at Constantly Varied Fitness and be sure to respond to my Ask a Question feature on my stories. But on my stories, I'm only able to give so much depth and context to each question because I'm confined to the Instagram story format. But on here, I can talk as long as I want, as little as I want. I can kind of break things down a little more thoroughly. So we're gonna dissect these questions here, especially because these are very common questions for a lot of these that a lot of people might be experiencing issues with, and I wanna make sure I can help as many people as I can as possible at once. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure that like button and subscribe, letting me know that you got something beneficial from this. You wanna see more videos like this, and if you want your question in the next video, be sure to again follow me at Constantly Varied Fitness and check my stories for the next time I post and ask me a question. So this very first question is a great one that I think a lot of people might be experiencing issues with. And this question is, this person is training hard, eating well, but putting on weight. So I'm assuming they're trying to say, hey, I want to either be maintaining weight or possibly losing weight. So the first thing I noticed is this person is a female. And because of that alone, there are a lot more factors that go into weight maintenance, weight loss. Literally no matter what you did, if you ate the same thing every single day of the week, of each month, of each year, naturally the way women's bodies work and their cycles, their hormones, a lot more is going on in women's body day to day. So there's gonna be a lot more factors, and literally they're gonna have bloats, they're gonna have weight changes no matter what they do. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. So the first thing I would just mention that's pretty standard for not only women but men as well is to make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. So many people just credit themselves for getting 6 hours of sleep. That's plenty of sleep. That's not enough sleep. Try to squeeze out an extra half an hour. Try to get to a recommended full 8 hours of sleep. If you're working out hard and consistently, it should be closer to 9 hours of sleep. Also making sure that you're trying to eliminate as much stress as possible. If you're working out, but in the back of your head as you're working out, you're thinking about all the other things you have going on in your life, all the other chores you have to do, all the other things you have to get accomplished for work, that's naturally gonna have you stressed out and have you gain weight that way. You wanna make sure you're setting up situations to have you be mentally healthy, because that can also help with your weight as well. This is a great question, definitely one we can break down even further. This one says recovery. They're doing 5 days a week of CrossFit, resting Saturday and Monday, but still feeling worn down. So the first area I want to start on is that you do not have to work out 5 days a week. 5 days a week has been the standard for most fitness programs. It's recommended for most people that have sedentary lifestyles otherwise. But especially if you're someone that is pretty active, they go surfing, hiking, mountain climbing, whatever it is, if you're someone that's out and about, that's a workout right there. That is putting your body through physical exertion. You are pushing yourself, you are doing challenging movements and challenging exercise and then putting your heart rate up into an elevated state. So that counts as a workout. So if you're doing lots of beach volleyball and all these other things, and on top of that working out 5 days a week, that can definitely add up. On top of that, if you're going to the gym 5 days a week and you're hitting it very, very hard 5 days a week, that adds up very quickly. And if you're not giving yourself a period of a week of either totally off from the gym or very easy, very light workouts that are not really getting too much of your heart rate too high, it's not really taxing you too heavily, that can be a way to help deload and give your body time to re-regulate before you go back to hitting it hard again. I recommend A, if you're doing a lot of things outside the gym as well, you don't have to go 5 days a week. B, if you're hitting the gym hard consistently, feel free to take a week easy or light, or a week off entirely from the gym and just do easy stuff outside the gym. Go do some yard work, go take your dogs on a jog, something like that that's gonna allow you to still be fit, be active, but not feel like you're crushing yourself inside the gym. I love this question, and I kind of did a post about this just recently, kind of talking a little bit about this subject, but this one says, feeling down on myself, constantly comparing and feeling I should be better. Whenever I hear this, this is the first thing I respond with. There is Olympians that are literally the cream of the crop, the 0.0001% of the skilled professional athlete in their sport, but they might still take 4th in the Olympics, might take 6th, or whatever it is. they're always gonna be chasing that next level. They're always gonna be chasing more. There's always gonna be someone out there that can lift more weight than you, that can do cardio faster than you, that is more athletic and agile and all these different things. So if you're constantly trying to compare yourself to the next level or the person that's right next to you that's doing a little bit better, it is a never-ending battle. You're gonna keep beating yourself up. You're gonna keep feeling like you don't have what it takes to be that next level or be where you want to be, because you're chasing this endless cycle of trying to better yourself, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Because it's a bad thing because of the fact that you are literally never gonna be happy because you're always trying to get to the next level. Versus being happy where you're at, understanding where you're at, and you were much further than you were when you first started working out. When you never worked out beforehand, you were definitely not as fit, not as strong, but now you are making progress and you are much fitter than you were in the past. So always be appreciative of where you currently are at now, and understand, even though that you might have friends that are stronger than you and fitter you, whatever it is, that you'll eventually get there. All you gotta do is be consistent, put in the work, have fun, which is the most important thing about working out. If you're not having fun, why would you do it? Find a different program if you're not having fun with your program, and that will help you realize, hey, I'm doing a good job, I'm where I need to be. If I'm seeing small incremental increases, my buddy's hitting 10 pounds heavier every other month, where I'm only hitting 2 pounds heavier every other month. When that compounds over month over month over month, and then in a year you've PR'd your main lifts 20 to 30 pounds, that is progress. So even if your progress isn't as fast as someone else, don't worry about it. Just be consistent, focus on you in the present, and understand you are currently here, you're gonna get there eventually. So these are most of the questions that I received on my Instagram story. I got rid of a few that were kind of like duplicate or too vague to really give a response to, so I would respond to that person individually. But this one's a really good one that a lot of people will, I feel like, have issues with, even though it's not as severe as this person. So this person says, I have inward facing knees. So when they're standing up in like a typical standing tall position, their knees naturally cave inward slightly. The challenge is to keep my knees facing outwards when squatting. Even people that don't have inward facing knees still have this issue tremendously, and if you have inward facing knees to begin with, it only makes it that much more challenging. So what I recommend doing is strengthening your glutes. Things such as side-lying clamshells, hip-banded glute walks, Romanian deadlifts, things that really tax your glutes are a great way to help strengthen them and get them to turn on and activate more frequently, because you need your glutes to help you externally rotate your knees. I was actually just coaching an athlete the other day as they were doing glute bridges, and I could tell they weren't actually squeezing their glutes. They were literally just raising their back and making their back do most of the work, and their hips and their hamstrings, but their glutes weren't turning on. They weren't squeezing them and firing them. And this is a common thing I see happen with a lot of people, whether they're squatting, whether they're deadlifting, they don't actually think about squeezing their glutes, getting them turned on and engaged, and this can lead to your knees caving in, because your glute medius, the muscle that's on the top of your butt, one of your glute muscles, helps with that external rotation of the knee. So the first thing I would do, glute strengthening exercises, things really simple as a hip band, that really skinny bands that go around your knees that you can drive outwards, are very, very powerful. They cost like literally pennies on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can find a whole bundle of them for like nothing virtually. And doing those every single day can make a huge difference. I use them before I squat, before I deadlift, before I do any type of dynamic movement, because that also requires glute recruitment. So keep that in mind if you're someone that does struggle with having your knees turn outwards. Banded glute work or any other kind of glute specific exercise can be very, very powerful. This question is definitely a little more specific and probably only reach a few people, so we'll be a little bit quicker on this question, but it says, despite having all the strength prerequisites, getting that first bar muscle ups that they're struggling with. Bar muscle ups, in my opinion, are easier to learn and get than a ring muscle up. Some people might get ring muscle ups first. It depends on the person, but more than not, bar muscle ups are a little bit easier because it requires less stability, it requires less coordination. It's a little bit easier to get yourself on top of the bar. So the issue that I see a lot of people have when they do bar muscle ups, they try to do a really big chest to bar. They do a really nice big kip and they go and then they do this, boom, and they pull the bar to their chest. Versus them leaning back behind the bar, pulling that bar straight down towards the hips with literally straight arms, and then they pop their hips up towards the bar so the bar is as close to the hips as they can, and then they pull themselves up to lay on top of the bar. So keep that in mind. It is not you pulling yourself up and over the bar, it is you pulling yourself around and then on top of the bar. Keep that in mind. If you guys have any questions with bar muscle ups, or you're just close but not quite there yet, send them to me on Instagram at ConstantVariate Fitness. Shoot me a message in my DMs and I'll be sure to get back to you with more specific details on that. So this question is no shade to Shayna. I don't know her situation, I don't know her background, I don't know what she's facing in her life right now and how much is on her plate, but I see a lot of people personally in my gym, I see them online all the time that will say that they don't have the time to work out. They just, some days are harder than others, which I totally understand, I totally get. So her question specifically is making the time to get the workout in since work schedule has changed. At the end of the day, something is better than nothing. If you can't go and commit an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours at the gym, that is not a problem. If you literally can't make it to the gym at all one day, if you can squeeze in 10 to 20 minutes of some kind of body weight workout, do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off of push-ups and air squats and sit-ups, that is something better than nothing. It'll naturally keep you more motivated when you get back to the gym, that you have something that you've been using kind of as fitness versus just being totally, laid off of fitness, and now you have a further deficit to come back to that baseline. So if you're someone that truly cannot make it to the gym, you just are struggling to find time, doing something better than nothing, buy a jump rope, have a jump rope at home, buy some bands, you can do some band pull-aparts, you can do banded tricep extensions, you can do a lot of things with literally just a typical band. It's gonna get you some sort of results or maintain some level of fitness. Now, with that being said, the next step from that would be making the time around your schedule. Most people can get up early enough to go work out at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. I used to work out back when I was 18 and 19 at 3 a.m. because me and my buddy, that's the only time we could literally work out because he had school and I had work and we just couldn't fit it in really much any other time of the day at that point in our life. So I would get up at 2:30 in the morning, we'd work out at 3, hit it hard until like 4:30, and that would be our fitness for today. Make the time early in the morning because you're less likely to have obligations and emails coming in and things like that. Or if you could just dedicate 10 to 15 minutes before you go to bed, go outside and do a jog. Every single minute that hits, you stop and you do 5 push-ups. But if you can at least dedicate 30-minute blocks, 40-minute blocks, an hour block, just go to the gym, hit it hard and fast, and get it over with, that is what's gonna help you be successful and be motivated to keep going to the gym. Because if if you're like me, if I take a huge break from the gym, naturally it's hard to get back into it. And then the longer you wait from doing absolutely nothing and you try to go and work out again, it kicks your butt, you're left sore for days, the workout hurts and it sucks. Obviously, we want to try to avoid that situation from happening. So doing something is better than nothing. I feel like I said that 10 times now. I'll stop saying it. That's my answer to that question. This person wrote double unders. I'm pretty sure they wrote it in all caps, so they are having a hard time with learning how to do double unders. I have a video on double unders on my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll have it linked up here. Just click on the little, I don't know if maybe it's on this side. I think it's on this side, I don't know. Click on the little tab at the top to go to my double under technique video where I break down 5 tips to help you get there, as well as a bonus drill at the very end of the video that I recommend you try out if you're someone that's been struggling with double unders, because in essence, double unders aren't that complex. It's you just jumping a little bit higher and flicking your wrist twice to execute them. So a really quick breakdown on some basic tips that I would give is making sure you're not swinging your arms as you're doing them. As much as people think that's gonna help them, it's absolutely hurting them. And every time you raise your arm up, it's raising the height that the rope is underneath your feet, which making you more likely to trip. So keep your hands low so there's more clearance under your feet. The flick is coming from your wrist, not from your elbow, so use your wrist as much as you can and keep a loose grip on the handle. I see some people give death grips to the handle. Keep a more relaxed passive grip so it's easier to flick your wrist and not get your whole arm involved. Keep a nice upright chest, stay light on your toes, and don't let your heels kiss the floor as you're jumping up and down, and make sure you're jumping straight up and down. You're not kicking your feet out in front of you like a dolphin kick. You're not kicking your feet behind you like a donkey kick. You want to jump straight up and down and be nice and soft and agile. Otherwise, check out that video for more detailed tips. This person put limited cardio endurance. After 20 burpees or a 300 meter run, I'm gassed out. So there is a lot that can go into this, but at the end of the day, you want to be working at about 70% of your capacity. So you're definitely having your heart rate elevated, but it's something you can sustain and keep moving with. So if you do get to 20, 30, 40 burpees and you are just spent by the end of it, you went too hard based off of where your aerobic capacity is currently at. So what I would recommend is having a standard. I would do 30 burpees maybe every other day or once a week and track your time. But the first time you do it, you would want to go really slow, something you can move consistently with without slowing down. Once you get to the point where you can do 30 burpees pretty fast and efficiently, and it's not really gassing as much as it used to, then I would up the amount of burpees you would do, and then maybe next week you do 40 burpees. And then if that goes really well, next week you do 50 burpees. And all aerobic capacity training is finding that current threshold that you have that allows you to sustain a certain pace without going above it and then tanking, and without being too far below it and just being too much in a cruising type of steady state with your cardio. So find that threshold, hold that threshold the best you can, and that's going to help you advance and get better at longer endurance pieces. And keep that in mind. Make sure you're not letting yourself just go gun-ho out the gate like a lot of people do and then die off within the first minute or so. So we answered a question kind of like this a little bit ago, but this one's a little more different. I have a different response to this one. So mindset and focus have been trash lately. It's more like I'm just showing up and don't care. So when we go to the gym, a lot of us don't just go to the gym just because. We go to the gym to be healthy, to lose weight, to build strength, to build confidence. We might go to motivate others. There's so many reasons why we can go to the gym, and if we kind of lose sight of that, it makes it really easy to fall out of having a desire to go to the gym. So what I've done personally, and I've done especially a lot this year to help me be motivated to go work out, is I determine all of my reasons why I want to work out. I want to work out to be healthy and have a long, happy life. I want to work out to be functional. Snag a shirt down below, check them out. I want to be functional, be able to put my arms over my head and put away dishes, and be able to pick up heavy groceries when I'm in my 70s or 80s. I want to be able to tackle all of the challenges life may throw at me, so that gets me motivated to work out. I know the more I don't work out, the more likely I am to be sedentary, the more likely I am to lose strength, lose aerobic capacity. My goal is to just be fit, even if some days I go to the gym and I don't really care to push really hard or go all out. I'm not super motivated, because motivation will come and go. I still go, I still stay dedicated to make sure I maintain my fitness, at least, if not trying to just get 1% better every day, because really that's all we need to do to be on the right track to getting where we want to be. But thinking about all of my whys, you could write them down on a piece of paper, you can write them down in a notes in your phone, put them down somewhere where you can see them whenever your motivation or your desire to go work out is running low. Read that list through, and I promise you it'll get you motivated to go and kick some butt. Also, start a playlist with your favorite songs, and as soon as you feel like you need to go work out, it's your time that you plan to go work out, put on that playlist. That's what I do every time, and it naturally gets me jazzed up and hyped up to go work out. So this wasn't really a question, but this was a great subject that was brought up that I wanted to kind of shed some light on, and that is coaches that don't coach. Seem to be a theme lately. We want feedback. Now, I will put this heavy on the CrossFit space. I know there's a lot of other coaches out there that are good, but I know there are a lot of coaches out there that just half-ass their responsibility as a coach. A lot of them coach group classes and they just treat it, as another gig. They just kind of do a 50% effort job. They get everyone through the class, they get people moving okay, and that's good enough for them. Me as a individual, I love to help people. I want people to do the best they can. I want to get them to the next level, even if it was fitness related or not. Whatever I can do to better that person's life or help them in their journey in life, I want to be a part of it. So when it comes to fitness, which is something I'm definitely passionate about, and I love helping other people, it just comes together, and I want to truly help every single person in the class, even if I have a 20-person class. They're all going to get individual attention, they're all going to get some kind of individual cue or feedback or remark, or if they're doing a great job. Hey, great job, Steven, you are killing it, keep doing what you're doing. Things like that make a big difference and let people know, hey, I need to work on these little things that are falling apart of my technique. I need to approach the workout differently to get a better workout in, or simply, hey, I'm doing a good job and coach acknowledged it, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. If you are going to a gym or you do have a coach right now that is just not giving you enough of what you think you need, or is not being as responsive or giving as much feedback as you think you should to help you get better in your fitness journey, then I would consider finding a different gym, finding a different coach, finding someone that's passionate about helping you get to the next level. Not really in the gym, just trying not to eat like an a-hole on the weekends. Oh, I'm struggling with mobility. I'll give a quick little response to both those things. So when it comes to eating like an a-hole on the weekends, the first thing I try to do is I try to make sure I fill myself up with as much healthy options as possible early on in the day. That way I'm less likely to be starving or hungry later on in the day and splurge, because we all know this. I'm looking at you in the eyes right now. We all know this. If we are not hungry we don't tend to really lean towards junk food as much. If you're not hungry, you don't really think about eating at all. And then as soon as your hunger hits, you're like, what is in the pantry? Because whatever it is, I'm eating it this very second and I'm gonna devour it. So if you go in your pantry and all you have is cookies and all these other junk food, obviously you're gonna devour that, eat like an a-hole. It's gonna be a vicious cycle of having junk food on the weekends, being healthy on the weekdays. So what I like to do is I like to have a lot of healthy snacks. I like to have a lot of fruit, vegetables. I'll make a lot of smoothies. I'll have carrots. I'll do a lot of healthier options earlier on the day to then help me not be as hungry later on the day, as well as to fill me up earlier on and be less likely to have junk food or indulge myself too much later on in the day. So find some healthy snacks. It could be Greek yogurt, it could be a low-calorie granola bar, it could be fruits and vegetables, different things that are gonna help you be on track and that you still enjoy eating. Like, I love yogurt, I love carrots, I love my smoothies, and they're good for me, but it's still something that's sweet, something that's catering to my cravings at the time and helping me stay on track. Now, really quickly covering the mobility side, I try to incorporate mobility into my warm-ups, so that way it's not like I'm dedicating 10 to 15 minutes of just activation work or banded work or stretching. I'll tie it into what I'm actually warming up with for my workout. So if I know I have back squats and other leg exercises, I'll start doing some lunges in my warm-up. I'll do some air squats, some goblet squats, but I'll also incorporate some banded work. I'll do some isometric glute bridge holds to really get my glutes firing. I'll do different things that are mobility-esque into my warm-up, so I'm killing two birds with one stone. My body's getting warmed up, my heart rate's getting elevated, I'm getting moving prior to my workout, but I'm also increasing my mobility. I'm also making sure I'm hitting the right positions needed for my workout that day. And another quick tip that I do just to help improve my overall flexibility and my end range of motion, and for example, that would be like doing the splits, or doing any kind of advanced type of position that you might not see the average person do in the gym. I'll do 20 or so minutes of flexibility work every other night as I watch Netflix. So I'll put on the show that I'm watching at the time. While I'm there, I'm just doing passive stretches that are really easy and allow me to just kind of zone out on as I watch TV. Next thing you know, 20, 30, 40 minutes have gone by and I'm stretching the whole time and I feel a lot better, and helps me get a better night of sleep that way also, and as it naturally unwinds me a little bit. So that's what I'd recommend. Fill your house with healthy snack option, eat those before you let yourself get too hungry and then want to eat everything in sight, and then incorporate mobility work into your warm-ups. It's like you're doing a whole mobility session and then a whole warm-up and then you're doing your workout. All right, we got two more questions. This next one is gonna be hard to give a specific feedback. Again, I think I mentioned this earlier in the video. If you have any type of technique videos or you want individual feedback on issues you're having in the gym, send me a DM, Constantly Varied Fitness on Instagram. Trying to work my way to my first pull-up. Any tips? The first thing that we'll mention is that I see a lot of people try to use their biceps to get pull-ups. A lot of people, as soon as they're hanging from the bar, the first thing they do is they bend at the elbow and try to get their biceps involved. The first thing you want to do is you want to get your lats activated and your lats involved. So as you're hanging from the bar, the first movement that should happen is you pulling your shoulders down and getting your lats turned on and tight. So when I do this, my lats are on, then I think about pulling my elbow down towards my side. It's not me pulling with my bicep, it's me sweeping my elbow down and squeezing my lat at the top of each rep. If you are someone that is struggling to get pull-ups, a very basic way to advise you to get to pull-ups without having any kind of background of where you're at currently, what I would be doing 3 sets to failure with about 2 to 3 or 4 minutes of rest in between. The longer you rest is okay, as long as you're allowing yourself to get maximum amount of reps each set. But I would do max strict banded pull-ups. This is going to allow you to work on that range of motion, work the lats like they should, and it's, in my opinion, the best scale or the best progression you could possibly do, because it's literally as close to the actual movement that you can do as well. Doing bent over rows and doing other kind of back exercises can be very beneficial and help you strengthen your lats to get you to your first pull-up, but at the end of the day, if I could only choose one progression, it would be doing a banded strict pull-up. Now, I would pick a band that allows you to do at least 5 reps at a time. If you can't do 5 strict banded pull-ups, even with a pretty decent thickness on your band, then I would recommend doing things like bent over rows. I would do lat cable pull down machines, things like that. They're gonna help strengthen your lats other ways until you're able to pull your body weight up with the band for at least 5 reps. All right, and the last question. This one is limited equipment at home. Only cardio machine I have is an old spin bike. Yeah. First thing I thought of when I heard that statement was I would go and make makeshift equipment. you can go to Home Depot and buy a concrete and a few buckets and make a few different weighted buckets with concrete, and you could do deadlifts with those buckets, you could do presses, you could do carries, you could do sit-up variations, you could do a lot of different things with a bucket full of concrete. Another thing you could do is you could, if you're pretty handy, I'm not, but you could make a makeshift pull-up bar out of some metal piping. There's a lot of different options out there to make up different equipment. You could even, if you don't want to spend any money, you have $0 to your name right now, you could go and grab a backpack out of your closet, fill it up with some books or some heavy objects, and you have a weighted object that way. You can put on your back for back squats, you can hold in the front for front squats, so many different options out there. So the first thing I would do is I would make makeshift equipment, especially because not only is equipment expensive right now because people are marking it up out the wazoo, but it's also hard to get a hold of. So that's the big issue right now. So I would make makeshift equipment. I would look up a ton of bodyweight exercises. I would look up bodyweight exercises for my chest, for my legs, for my back, all these different things, or maybe equipment you can use with just a backpack. I have a video of that up on my YouTube channel, 30 exercises. Is it 30? Yeah, 30 exercises you can do with just a backpack. It's done really well. I've got a lot of positive feedback on it, a lot of different movement variations in there, so I would check that out if you were in that situation. But you don't need a lot to get it done. Literally, focus on the basics. Make sure you're pushing, you're pulling, you're doing sit-ups, you're running, you're jumping. Literally, everything that's on my shirt, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll put maybe a little picture of it right here so you can check it out. Again, grab a shirt down below, support the channel. But that's what I would do in your situation. I would just make best of what you have around you, or go buy some really cheap materials and go make some pieces of equipment so you can still get a lot done with very little. Alright guys, and there you have it. There's my response video for my questions that I had on my Instagram story. Again, if you want to be in the next response video, be sure to follow me on Constantly Varied Fitness and check out my stories, because at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, I'll do an Ask Me a Question, and sometimes I'll respond on there. But if you guys enjoy these videos, I might start responding on here so I can give you guys more detailed feedback on my recommendations and my advice. If you guys want to show your support to the channel, again, check out the links down below for discounts on my favorite fitness products. I've been talking too much. As well as some of our merch down there as well. If you guys like this video, make sure that like button and subscribe for plenty more. And check out the videos I have posted to the side, because if you enjoyed this one, I promise you'll enjoy those as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.